Yo, what's up, everybody? Phil James. Today is Friday, November 17th, because it is 12 a.m. on the dot, midnight, y'all. So I have quite a few videos I need to make. I pulled up quite a few articles on my browser here, and I feel that damn near all of these need a video made on them. So I might have a video or two, maybe three out in the next few hours tonight, today, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. So, there's a new way to wipe out mosquitoes in the U.S. Now, before I get into this article too much, I want to go ahead and say, do we all remember the mandatory vaccination laws that are going into effect in Italy? You know, actor Rob Schneider went there and made an appearance, like saying how wrong it was. I was pretty surprised to see him on the side of non-mandatory vaccines. Kind of crazy. But we also have to remember that, vaccines are horrible. It's an obvious fact. Autism and vaccines, the number of vaccines that have increased, so is the percentage of autism and every other type of mental illness. So clearly, in my mind, my opinion, those go hand in hand, but I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not credible enough as a source. But you go off what you can observe, and that's what you can observe. Now, with that being said, let's carry on to talk about what's been going on. Zika, that big effing scare that our government likes to portray as an epidemic. We have Irma, we have Harvey, and then suddenly all these diseases are out and around, you know what I mean? Or they're claiming. Now we have the pneumonic and the bubonic plague outside the country in Madagascar, with high risk to spread to the actual continent of Africa. Once again, probably just a scare, but they do, like Richie has said, and other news sources have said, dig up the corpses of their dead relatives and dance around with them in a parade ceremony type thing as a type of respect for the dead. Now, that's an obvious thing that it's obvious that some sort of disease would start. So, nobody should be allowed to travel there during that week that they dig up dead people. You know what I mean? Something like that. Or the month, whatever. But Harvey hit. Now we have flesh-eating viruses on the loose attacking people. We have Zika supposedly coming out. We have, still have Ebola and all that. E. coli, God knows whatever. Ebola, E. coli is the wrong one. I didn't mean to say that. But Ebola, you know what I mean? And then all the other random illnesses and diseases that they talk about. So with Zika, yellow fever, West Nile, and all those, the U.S. decides that it's time to take matters into their hands and give permission to a random company called MosquitoMate to release what they are calling killer mosquitoes. Yes, you heard me correctly. These things are called killer mosquitoes. They're only male mosquitoes, though, and they put this bacteria, I can't pronounce it. I will show you what it is in this article. Alright, mosquitoes are some of the deadliest creatures in the world, carrying diseases like Zika, dengue, and don't know what that big one is right there with the CHIKUNGUNYA. Yeah, don't know what that is, not going to try. In response, the U.S. government has given the green lights to a unique strategy for ridding people's yards of the disease-bearing pests. In early November, the Environmental Protection Agency, that dirty-ass foundation or dirty-ass group of people, granted commercial approval for the company MosquitoMate to release its special male Aedes albopictus mosquitoes called ZAP Mosquitoes in 20 states and Washington, D.C. The company's approach uses a type of bacteria called Wolbachia, which is which certain types of mosquitoes naturally carry. MosquitoMate has developed the ability to breed 2 types of mosquitoes that often carry diseases. Man, I'm not good with these species names. So, if you want to see them, you're kidding. Well, never mind, because I can't highlight it apparently. Yeah, cannot. Well, anyways, it's right above the highlighted part. Alright, that carry different form of bacteria that's incompatible with the Wolbachia carried by their wild mosquito counterparts. Now, with all those crazy bacteria names and mosquito species, when a MosquitoMate releases their ZAP male mosquitoes into the environment, the mosquitoes mate with wild females and pass on their Wolbachia to their offspring. Those offspring never actually hatch, however, because that bacteria interferes with the mosquito's parental chromosomes, causing the eggs to not develop. Now, history always repeats itself. And what do we always do when we genetically mess with stuff? Especially nature. What do we always do? Destroy it. Wreck ecosystems. Wreck human beings with genetically engineered, genetically modified foods. Create super weeds or super bugs. Create mutated versions. Whatever the case may be. We always mess with stuff, and it always causes drastic problems. So they only release males because male mosquitoes do not bite people. So far, MosquitoMate trials in Kentucky, California, and New York have shown that ZAP mosquitoes can reduce the overall mosquito population of a given release area by more than 80%. Now that's a major decrease in mosquito population. So when you think about that, mosquitoes are part of the ecosystem, right? That means other insects, bigger insects, spiders, eat them. So by reducing the population in a given area by 80% or more, give or take either which way, 70 to 80%, let's say, by reducing the population that much of mosquitoes, that causes an imbalance somewhere in that food chain or in that ecosystem. Now, when that happens and the balance is thrown out of whack, everything's thrown out of whack. You know what I mean? It happens and has happened repeatedly throughout history. Stephen Dobson, the CEO of MosquitoMate and a professor and medical entomologist, God, I cannot read for shit, entomologist at the University of Kentucky, says he's been working on the bacteria-carrying mosquitoes for about 20 years. Self-delivering mosquito control approach is more effective than traditional methods that rely on people to find cryptic mosquito breeding spots, says Dobson. Well, they also like to go out and carpet bomb entire cities by spraying toxic chemicals that have been banned in all kinds of other countries, numerous other countries. We've done it. We did it in Florida when the Zika scare started. We were carpet bombing all of Florida and all those southern states hardcore with chemicals that have been completely banned in South America and so on and so forth. So, alright. He adds that the increase in invasive mosquito species and the fact that mosquitoes are becoming resistant to existing pesticides increases consumer desire for more effective ways to get rid of them. This approach does not use chemicals like pesticides is also appealing, he says. MosquitoMate's mosquitoes are also not genetically modified. No, they're not genetically modified. They're vaccinated, essentially, because they are injected with a bacteria. How do we know how this bacteria is going to affect us humans? they claim it's completely safe. But like so many times prior, when the United States government or the EPA or the FDA or the company who profits from said experiments or processes, when they claim it's safe, it never is. And it's happened repeatedly throughout history. You know what I mean? So how do we know that this isn't going to cause some catastrophic event? You know what I mean? It's very possible. And we got to remember, this could be all part of the plan. NASA, during there we go. August 21st, during the eclipse, we all know that NASA started launching bacteria strains high up into the atmosphere with weather balloons, and they did it hardcore in the path of the eclipse. Now, when you think about that, nobody really knows why or the purpose, right? So maybe they were just releasing some sort of bacteria or disease to do this in the future. We don't have mandatory vaccination laws technically here. I mean, if you don't vaccinate your kids, I'm pretty sure you have to homeschool them and stuff, but it's technically not mandatory yet here. So, I mean, they basically try and force you, and all kinds of shit comes if you do not vaccinate. I don't have kids, so I don't know, but from what I understand, I don't think it's required to vaccinate children here, but there are other ways you have to go about raising your child if you do not. So, we think about that. NASA releases the bacteria. Zika scares, all the hurricanes, all the so-called diseases and bacteria being released and whatnot. And now, just so happens that they have this nifty little treatment, this nifty little experiment they've already given the green light for, the EPA has, to this company who is going to profit, obviously, from it. So therefore, they're making mad profits off this, which means that they're not going to be like, oh, never mind, this isn't safe. They're not going to say that. They're going to say, all right, let's do this, get our money, and then if it's not safe, we'll just recall the mosquitoes and somehow go out and get them, right? No, because that's impossible. They'll never be able to do that. But it's just kind of crazy that this is happening. So I will totally leave links in the description below for this time page right here. And I have another one that says the 20 states it's being tested in. So hopefully your state's not on it, because fortunately for me, my state is, of course. And I'm sure they've already started releasing these killer mosquitoes, or ZAP mosquitoes, because they're called both. EPA just approved the release of weaponized mosquitoes in 20 U.S. states and Washington, D.C. Alright, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has just cleared MosquitoMate Incorporated, a Lexington, Kentucky-based biotechnology company focused on mosquito control deficiencies, invasive mosquito species, and important vectors of human diseases, to release its bacteria-infected mosquitoes in 20 U.S. states and Washington, D.C. Now, how terrible does that sound? Bacteria-infected mosquitoes, and they're going to release them into the wild. Now, what if this bacteria affects something else in that ecosystem and it wipes out an entire species in a week? What do we do then? What if this bacteria is actually has some sort of unexpected side effect to humans and wipes out an entire population in a week? If that is to happen like that, and it does affect humans drastically like that, clearly it was probably planned, because they do not like us, they do not care about us, and they do not want us here. That's why they have an AI robotic army on its way, and Skynet, or 5G, being hooked up as I make this video. Now, on November 3rd, the agency told biotechnology startup MosquitoMate that it could release the bacterium into the environment as a tool against the Asian tiger mosquito. lab-reared mosquitoes will deliver bacterium to wild mosquito populations. The decision, which the EPA has not formally announced, allows the company, which is based in Lexington, Kentucky, to release bacteria-infected mosquitoes in 20 U.S. states, including Washington, D.C. also. Now, here's just the list. I don't want to read all this, but like I said, I want to do this. I'm going to show this video also. So I'll show the video. Possibly. We all saw how my phone was working this morning. Major pain in the ass. God. Alright, forget the video. You guys can watch it if you check out the link. What in the hell? You've got to be shitting me right now. Guys, I'm so sorry. There we go. There you go. You got it now? Got it? Alright. Now let's try. There we go. We can do it.
So MosquitoMate is based on some technology that we developed at UK. The idea is that we're rearing lots of mosquitoes in the laboratory. We remove the females. Female mosquitoes bite. Instead, we release only the male mosquitoes, which don't bite. We release lots and lots of these male mosquitoes, which have this Wolbachia bacterium. The mosquitoes will find females on their own. They're quite good at that. This is what they've evolved to do. And then they mate with the females in the field and effectively sterilize them. So there are several advantages of our approach. We don't use chemicals. It's a naturally occurring bacterium. Traditional insecticides have the potential to impact bees, butterflies, things that we see as beneficial in our backyard and beneficial to the ecosystem for that matter. This technology does not involve genetic modification. By using a naturally occurring bacterium, by using the mosquito's natural ability to find mates, we can come up with a better approach that hopefully will work better and complement existing approaches. To get it out of the lab benches, get it into the field where it can actually help people, we've been working with the Von Allman Center here at the University of Kentucky. They've really been very helpful in taking the technology and moving it into the field. We're having our employees show up at a targeted site, and basically what we do is walk around the perimeter of the house, which distributes the mosquitoes within that area pretty evenly. Something that started as an idea and very basic research can get carried all the way through to the field, and then ideally actually help people. Developing technology here that is useful for people is something that we strive to do, and having something that could be so meaningful for the people, whether it's reducing mosquito-borne disease or just allowing people to relax in their backyard without getting mosquito bites, is something that we think is worthwhile.
So there you have it. Just no big deal. That's whatever, you know what I mean? It's just bacteria-infused mosquitoes that are being released into the wild by humans, which, like I just said, it never works out good.
So MosquitoMate is based on some technology that we developed at UK.
You're
the
kidding,
idea is
dude.
that we're rearing lots of...
Oh my god, dude. Guys, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose it. Why? I have 4G, as you can see up at the top. And I have a signal, I have service going. Not now, apparently, but this is what I get when my phone breaks and Verizon gives it to me under warranty and then tells me, never mind, it's not under warranty and you have to pay $500 for it. This is what happens to me, of course. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Verizon. I appreciate it. Now, anyways, let's go with the 20 approved states. California, Connecticut, Delaware, Illinois, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Maine, Maryland, Missouri, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Nevada, New York, my state, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Tennessee, Vermont, and West Virginia, as well as Washington, D.C. Sounds like they're hitting FEMA sections 1, 2, and 3, doesn't it? And then throwing California in there? Huh. Strange. So, if some sort of drastic, crazy sickness goes around in FEMA sections 1, 2, 3, whatever the hell they are. You know why. In California also. So I just wanted to throw it out because this is kind of insane. You know, ZAP Mosquitoes, or otherwise nicknamed killer mosquitoes, are being released wild, like into the wild. You know, ecosystems and all that are balanced, semi-balanced, until humans populated America and started wrecking everything. But there you have it. We plan on wrecking another ecosystem. We plan on killing people with some sort of sickness, some sort of bacteria-infused mosquitoes. God only knows what will happen. Hey, could be wrong and nothing could happen, but just wanted to say, show it, let you guys see the links. Like I said, they will be in the description, and you might have a video from me here in the next couple hours again. Peace, y'all.